We are glad you're here. Thank you so much for being here. We've still got some cool things that are coming up that are really different, so take a listen. We are excited to announce officially that the audience, the membership on Sunday at the special meeting, overwhelmingly chose our new senior minister is Reverend Gregory Toole. Now he actually, yes, isn't that wonderful? It's such a feeling of completion. He will not be here officially until July the 15th, that's a Monday, and he will speak for the first time in July as our senior minister. He has spoken once before, but he will speak as our senior minister for the first time on July the 21st. And so I bet we'll be full up on that day to welcome our new senior minister. We also have going on stuff this week. Our spiritual discussion group is meeting this week. This is only in person, those of you who are online, but it's very well attended. It's very much enjoyed. I love to go myself when I can. So that's Thursday, tomorrow, June the 6th, and it meets at 2 p.m. and goes until 3:30 p.m. So with just a little break, 3:45, we also have the Labyrinth, which is next door in Richelieu Hall. We have a magnificent labyrinth that we unfold on the floor and just transform Richelieu Hall into a labyrinth walk. It's a great experience. It's a great transforming experience. If you've never done it, this could be the first day. So that's tomorrow, and that is at 3:45. And then on Friday, we have our sort of quarterly, I think, concerts that we're having with the Soundscape Orchestra entitled Summer Fun. And so they really enjoy a wide audience, I guess you could say. People come on Friday night that we don't see as often, but they love that music. So come and see some new or make some new friends on Friday night. We'll have snacks. It'll be a great evening. So that's on June the 7th. Now the orchestra starts playing at 6 p.m., but we start gathering by 5:30 so you can visit, get a nice place to put your stuff and enjoy the show. They play until 8 p.m. Now, coming up on Sunday, we, of course, have our Sunday service. And before Sunday service, it's nice to be reminded, if you forget to come to that Science of Mind class that is just before our service. So it is at 10:15 to 10:45. And they're reading Living the Science with Science of Mind, and it really is a great class to do. Get a taste of Ernest Holmes before you come into the service at 11 o'clock. And so with our service on Sunday, we will also have after service, we will have choir practice. So as you enjoy singing with a group, as I do, if you can manage to do that, it is a great experience. The more people we have up here, guess what? The bigger sound we have, and the more fun it is for everybody. So you are welcome. You have a voice in this choir if you would like to be in this choir. Now, the following Sunday, that's July the 19th, we are having our second annual Juneteenth celebration. I think this is an absolutely wonderful thing to do. We celebrate on that particular day because it's called Freedom Day. It is actually on the number day is on the 19th of June in the middle of the week, and it's a federal holiday. It is a recognition of a particular time, and we talk about history. So we have a program lined up. We've got some music as well as a potluck. Now, those of you who would like to come and would participate in our potluck, because food is all about Juneteenth. Now, that is an important part of everyone's Juneteenth celebration. There's a clipboard out there, and I would love for people to sign up so we kind of have a general idea of what we have. Now, I have been told by a number of people individually, well, I'm going to bring this and I'm going to bring that, and I'm asking you, please, put it on that clipboard so it's all in one place. It will be wonderful. And so please do that. It's a great idea and it's great fun. Now, what we're also offering through the week, every week, or most every week, are 2 book study groups. There's one on Tuesday morning, and it is at 10 p.m., in the foyer, exactly where the spiritual discussion sits. The chairs are in the same place. We also have a Zoom meeting with a different book. We just completed the one this morning at 10:30. So it's a Zoom meeting and it's an in-person meeting. So you can suit yourself. Those of you who live in too far to come, you're welcome to be in our Zoom meeting on Wednesday morning. Now, we also have a class that Reverend Valerie Reeves is teaching. It's not just a class, it's an entire course, really. It is on Friday and Saturday, June the 21st and June the 22nd. These are 2 all-day classes, and this is for certification in hypnosis certification class. Now, what does all that mean? There's a flyer out there that you can certainly get. But Reverend Valerie is right here today. She's going to be speaking, and I promise you she'll be out there. We'll answer any questions that you have. If you're just kind of wondering what you're going to do when you get there that day, just ask her. I'm sure she will share everything you need to know. So with summer coming up, we are revving up Divine Dining. We have a table out there with a number of clipboards that you can sign up if you would like to do a Divine Dining. There are so many different things that one can do. I mean, we've had pool parties, we have had boat trips, we've had divine music and food events before, and we've had smaller, intimate things. Like, we've had some divine dining in the past that only had like 4 people, 5 people, 6 people. Maybe just invite people over to play Monopoly or something that's fun and serve some food and just have a good time. It doesn't have to be grand, but it is fun, and it has to do with getting together. So think about what you might like to do and put it on the clipboard. So with everything that we're doing, especially all the things that we're having going on at this center, we absolutely depend on the wonderful volunteers we have. Today is no exception. They're lined up at the back just simply to make this whole day happen, both in person and on YouTube. Thank you all to our volunteers. Thank you for everyone. And I appreciate the applause for those people. It is a gratitude that we get to say with our hands. So, with all of that, I am going to pass the spotlight. It's this lovely pink light, Reverend Valerie. You're going to look good. Beautiful. So,
Let me go to the
and here
pink.
she goes.
I'm going to the light. Hello, thank you. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you so much. Yay. It's so great to be here to see you all. Beautiful, amazing people. And then getting that energy of the ocean, because I feel like we get that here, right? Does that just make every day even better? Today, I'm going to be talking about what's your story. And I feel like this is a talk title I could talk about all the time, and I probably have before. But I have new stories, so isn't that fun? New stories. So what is your story? Many times we keep regurgitating the same story, and then we see somebody else, and it's like, oh, let me tell them about my story, and let me tell you, and let me tell you, and let me tell you. And if we keep saying the same thing, different day, we just keep creating more and more of that. So making sure that we are stepping into the new. I have some great quotes. So my first quote here, this is an awesome concept, isn't it? Change your thinking, change your life. How many of you have heard that before? Yes. Well, and it sounds like just such an easy concept. If I just change my thinking, I'll change my life. So much easier said than done. And I've listened to Dr. Joe Dispenza talk about breaking the habit of being yourself. Because we get into certain habits where we're doing the same, every day. I use my right leg into my clothes first. Anybody else go back and forth? If you cross your arms like this, try it. Really, go ahead, try it. Yeah. We always have one arm that's on top, and if you try to go the other way, it's like I can't even make myself do that. So any little change can pivot and change things in our life. And I heard this the other day. There's a power for good in the universe, and we can use it. I knew this. I've heard it a lot of times, and yet somehow it just hit me even different. It's like, gosh, when we get into different situations, do we remember that power? One of our practitioners, and I have his permission to share this, had a stroke. And he said he went right into prayer treatment. And he's like, okay, right people, right doctors, right diagnosis, make everything happen really fast. He got the right doctors, the right people, the right care, and he didn't have any loss of anything except just a little bit in his leg where he's relearning to walk. And he said, had it not been for this philosophy, I would have probably just surrendered to whatever was happening with my body and would have just been, woe is me. But he said, I know the principles, and I know that I wasn't paying attention to the signs that led up to everything, where we're tuning into ourselves, where we're loving ourselves. Because sometimes we get so busy doing that we forget to take in that breath of life. And I know he has a great spiritual practice, but he also likes to keep very busy. So making sure that we're tuning into ourselves and we're putting the old stories down. How many of you have gone through forgiveness before and you've forgiven things? Yeah, we forgive the past, right? Me too, except for, there was my dad, and then there was my mom, and then there was my sister, and then there was my second grade teacher, and I don't have enough hands to hold all of that. And then maybe I've forgiven that and moved forward. But maybe there's a little fragment that I'm still holding on to. Can you think of someone in your mind and not have a feeling about, oh, what they did to me? Because it's really easy to jump back to that old story instead of saying, you know what, I let that go, and reminding ourselves. And in order to do the things that I want to do, who am I becoming today? So we start with the main principle of looking at our inner courage, because changing who we are and how we are might take some courage, right? It's like people are used to me being like this. If I am in a conversation with somebody and they get into their story, and I've been so loving and so kind and so gracious to listen to this story over and over and over, what if I start changing and I say, you need to stop you right there. Let's talk about something positive. Tell me something good. And many people will be like, oh, there's nothing good. There's so much stuff going on in the universe. It's like, no, there are great things going on in the universe, and it's a collaborative universe. So every thought that we have is incredibly important. We want to make sure our thoughts about ourselves, about our life, and about the people around us. And that takes work. It means we get to consciously be mindful. Mind your mind. Be mindful of the things that you're thinking and the things that are going through your mind when you see somebody and maybe you had an interaction with them. It's like, let me heal that inside myself. Because we're all connected, when we heal that inside ourselves, we heal that everywhere. Now, I do love to go back to the 5 steps of treatment, because teaching the kids, it's like God is everywhere, in you, in me, in everything. And if God is everywhere, it means it's that energy, that spirit is in me. And if it's in me, that same power that aligns the stars and keeps the ocean flowing is flowing through me. And that's the power of the universe. And I can use it. So let me tap into that power. Let me get excited about it. Let me love myself to the next level. Let me see the good in everyone and just be in that miracle readiness. And knowing that good things are happening, which means I might want to set my intentions for things that I want. Because if I don't set an intention for stuff I want, I become that ship out on the ocean, and I have to confess that a good share of my life was that little boat out on the ocean, letting the waves throw me here and throw me there without charting my course. So making sure that we're charting our course and trusting that Spirit is going to guide and direct. I have another quote here, because this is tapping into our spiritual connection. What you focus on expands. We are always affirming something, always. Nature of the mind is to think, so we're always thinking. I mean, when we go to sleep, we go into that beautiful state of relaxation. However, we're still dreaming. We're still processing stuff. So if I go to bed with an intention of what I want to experience, I can wake up with that same intention and remind myself to take a little time in the morning. Because when we go into the deep sleep, we're in the delta brain waves where we are just out. When we start to come up, we're in the theta brain waves, and then to the alpha, which is a great state when we're in meditation. And in that alpha state is when all the creativity of our mind and our life is happening. So taking a little time with that alpha state before we get to the busy monkey mind chatter of the beta waves where we're just like everywhere, or if you're really, really busy multitasking, you might get to the gamma brain waves. That's a new one that they've added. So it's like, okay, this is because everybody's multitasking and going so fast. It's like, okay, the beta busy mind, but if I'm still in the alpha state, upon awakening, let me take a few moments to just visualize the day, even if I have to jump up, use the bathroom, get a drink of water, and lay back down where I'm still in that kind of quiet time. Let me visualize how my intentions of who I am in the day is going to be. Peace, love, kindness, everything's in the divine flow. Here are the things that I'm accomplishing today with ease and grace and love, and then just watch that unfold. I like to do that even when my granddaughters spend the night. It's like, let's just lay here and let's imagine the day. And we've gotten into some great stories. I apologize, I didn't finish the... We're always affirming something. We affirm if we are sick or well, unhappy or happy, that we lack or we have abundance. We're always thinking something. We are always affirming. But now we know what is necessary to affirm and declare in order to have a life be a joy instead of a burden. We want to make sure our life is fun and exciting and that we have good things happening, and it doesn't have to be, woo, crazy, just beautiful and in that flow. And then we just surrender to Spirit to allow us to get there. So knowing that God is everywhere, it's one with me. I know that as I affirm, I can just step into that picture, and in that picture, I'm just going to go to gratitude and then release it to the universal action of the law and allow. We do say treat and move your feet, so we do the spiritual mind treatment, and then we allow Spirit to guide and direct. And sometimes Spirit will come knocking and guide and direct, and I'm like, no, not now, I'm busy. And then we keep saying, no, I'm not, I'm busy. And so then it'll just kind of give us another little nudge and a little nudge until it gets so loud. It's like, okay, I do say this is what I want, so let me move in that direction. We move in the direction of our most dominant thoughts. So making sure our dominant thoughts about ourselves, our life, and our direction are clear and present and in front of us. And then sometimes things happen. So I know a lot of you took spiritual economics here with Reverend Mary. I love that class. I love that book so much. So I'm teaching it up in the high desert, and we up in Apple Valley. We were talking about it and about what we create and how sometimes we just need to surrender. So one of the students, her name is Pat, and she gave me total permission to share this story because it was such a great story. She said, here she was, didn't have a job. She's about ready to lose her home. And she was in this victim mentality. And she's like, I am not a victim of circumstances. I'm going to create a life I love. So I'm going to have a party. Let's have some fun. So she calls all her friends, hey, let's have a potluck. Come on over at my house. Come on over. And so get away from those thoughts that are not making her happy. Let's have a party. She's got all her friends over. They brought fabulous food. One of her friends happened to make her way into her office. And she said, Pat, come here. And so Pat went in there and she said, you know this painting here on the wall? I think that's worth something. She's like, oh, I don't know. It was one of my mom's and I just took it and put it up on the wall. And she said, I think it's really worth something. Let me contact this guy that I know that lives up in San Francisco. Let me give him a call. And she explained the thing to him, and he's like, I think that's a very valuable piece. I'm going to send you a box. Get me the dimensions. I'm going to send you a box, the padding, and the stamps or the mail, whatever it's going to cost to FedEx it up to my space. So he sent a box with nice padding. She put it in there, had all the shipping on there, sent it. He calls her a day later. He had received the package, and he said, you know, if you're in a hurry, I can sell it right away. If you want to wait a little bit longer, I could get a little bit more. But he said, this, if I sold it right away, is worth $58,000. She's like, what? He's like, yeah, if we wait a few months, probably could get 80 if you have a little more time. But if you want me to sell it and go ahead and do it, I can get 58,000. She's like, yes, best day ever. Sometimes things just show up and we weren't even expecting it because we've gotten in that space of just letting go, trusting Spirit. Let me be in the fun and laughter and allow the goodness to come. Because her intention was, I'd really like to stay in this house. This is what I would love. However, Spirit, this is my intention. Let's have a party. Let's just have a lot of fun. Guide and direct me. And to have a friend just happen to wander into her office and see this painting and know that it was worth something. Because she said, that might have been something I probably would have put on a yard sale or something. I don't know. So there are things that are happening, and there's abundance all around us. So being mindful of all of that abundance. In the book, Spiritual Economics, and one of the old hard copy ones, it says, you are not a victim of circumstances. Consciousness creates circumstances, or at least sets the climate in which they happen. When you establish yourself in this awareness, then you are in the position to change things. So the more we really tune into what would I love, what is great, and am I taking time every day before I jump out into the busyness of the day to just settle in and affirm what would I love, how do I want to be today, who am I? Because we get busy just being who we've been forever, and maybe some of that's not working. Maybe I need to be a person that eats healthier, and let me make better choices. Let me be a person that is taking time every moment to look people in the eyes, to be intentional. Let me be that space of love and joy. Let me set that intention, and let me be in gratitude for everything that comes my way. And then at the end of the day, going to bed with that gratitude, loving my life, knowing that everything is working out in divine and beautiful ways. So as we're tapping into our spiritual connection, we get time to imagine. So I have a quote up here. Start with your imagination. We need to teach ourselves to think just as consistently, just as emphatically about the things we do want. We must declare for ourselves in no uncertain terms the good things of life we desire. It goes on to say, and in between the times we set aside for the purpose, there must be no backsliding. Did you ever start on something and then you backslide? And then you start picking up a story you thought you had already put down? No letting down. There must be no backsliding, no letting down of the barriers we have raised against negative ideas. A yes, one moment, and a no, the next, will hold us in the very position which we want to get out of. Yes, 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 things are good. Oh no, this happened. Look at what happened. Oh yes, I'm moving in this direction. Oh no, this happened. Now what do I do? And sometimes we even backslide farther than we were in the first place. So keeping those goals in front of us, having that lovely drive down the hill this morning. I know Mary always talks about the traffic, and it's like, I enjoy a drive because I get my Starbucks in the morning. I just drive down the hill. I either call somebody or listen to something, and I've been listening to the Principles of Success, and they were talking about how powerful our minds are. And a good idea is to keep a little 3x5 card with us at all times so that we can look at what our intentions and our affirmations are, reminding ourselves what direction we're moving. Because it's that wonderful thing, hit the GPS, and it doesn't say, where you been? Where you been? What are you holding on to? It just says, where are you and where are you going? So keeping clear about where I'm going, and the minute I start having any negative thoughts, it's like, no, I'm going here. This is something fun and exciting, and Spirit's guiding me every single day in every single way. So let me get excited about that, and let me remind myself that laughter is always the best medicine. Let me laugh a lot. Now, they did a study at Stanford years ago where they took 3 groups of people. They love these studies, so let's break them up into 3 groups. And they had the one group, it's like each one of the groups needed to have some arthroscopic surgery on their knees. And the one group, they're going to go ahead and do that. The next group, they're just going to kind of scrape the bone around in there. And the third group, they're just going to poke a little hole in there like they did something, but they didn't really do anything. All 3 groups had the healing. Because even if there was a little poked hole, this is what your expectations are, that you're going to walk better, you're going to stand better, all is well. And everybody had great success. Even the group that didn't have anything done except a little hole poked in their knee. Because they thought, oh, I already had the surgery, and now the expectation was that I'm going to be stronger, my knees are stronger, I'm bending better, life is good. It's amazing how incredibly powerful our minds are. Yet, I love to have the extra assistance because I know there's brilliance in the doctors and in the medical fields, and also have that visualization because then we have everything that we put together. Just like my practitioner up in the high desert, he's like, you know, I had the best doctors, I had the right people giving the right answers, and they were open to listening to me. And so listening to the mind-body connection and what he needed to support himself in order for a quick healing, he got out of the, because I think it was just like a week ago, and he's already home and was already at a meeting yesterday with us. So I'm like, how are you doing this? Having gone through everything that he went through. He's like, no, I just knew I'm already healthy and I'm just in that flow, and they gave me everything, got out of the rehabilitation 3 days early. So he's like, I just knew the power of prayer, that everybody was praying for me, and that I already know I'm strong, I'm capable, I'm walking, life is good, and ready to go on vacation. So there it is. So making sure that we're really remembering how powerful our minds are. Because I forget sometimes. Anybody else forget? That there's that power in the universe that we can use for good, because it's a constant reminding ourselves, because it's easy to get into the race consciousness, the mindset that's out there in the world, and it just filters in, oh, this is happening and that's happening, and it's like, it's not necessarily so. That's an idea and things that people out there are going through, but I'm knowing that everybody is happy, healthy, and that there is peace in the world. And not to be Pollyanna-ish, I mean, I can just see the things that are happening in the world. However, if I can just stay in that consciousness, and if enough of us can stay in that consciousness of world peace, love, harmony, then we just get to step into that picture. And it takes being mindful. I do believe I have another quote up here. If you are not living up to your greatest potential in any area of your life, you are settling. It can be hard to admit, but when you do, you will finally discover how to never settle for less. Sometimes we think, well, this is about as good as it can get. And yet those of you that have had some beautiful, amazing miracles, and I'll call them miracles, but it's the normal kind of thing that we can do because it's that law of attraction. We state it, we create it, we have that intention. Energy goes where attention flows. And if we have that intention and attention on what it is that we're focusing on, then we get to bring that right to us. And then we get in that happy, joyful space and anticipation, knowing that it's showing up. Sometimes it may not show up exactly the way we thought, because usually it's better. Or there might be one more little curve to go around, and we just say, okay, let me get around this curve, and it's coming. The highest and best is always unfolding for us. And not settling. And every time I think of settlers, I think of the comedian Gallagher. Anybody ever see Gallagher? He used to have a watermelon, he'd sledgehammer it, and watermelon go everywhere. And he said, you know, they came over to Plymouth Rock, and some people settled. And then others moved on into the middle of the states and settled. And he said, but those of us in California, we came to California, we didn't settle, we built a pier so we could go out even further. So it's like, okay, think of the pier and how far. It's like, okay, we're not just gonna settle for just being here at the coast, we're gonna go out farther onto the water, walk on water, so that's what we do. And so when we get into that space of, oh, this is good enough, it's like, is it? I'm ready for more and more and more goodness. So allowing the goodness to unfold and flow right where we are. So allowing that goodness to flow and being in that childlike spirit that life is good and something wonderful is unfolding for me, and I'm releasing it to the universe so it can come back, staying in that intentional, I've charted my course, I'm in my little boat, and life is happening in the direction that I want to. Continuing to remember, we move in the direction of our most dominant thoughts. And if I start to backslide, it's like, nope, this is the direction I'm going, and life is good, and this is who I am. A person that's open, excited, joyful. And so let's take all of this beautiful, amazing energy, knowing that we are charting our course for the best thing and the best life ever. Knowing that regardless of what age we are, there are wonderful things still happening. There's books that are being written already as I speak. There's great artists in the room that are amazing. So, and musicians and loved ones and healers and happy people in here. And I am knowing that all of that energy and whatever is bubbling up inside of you, you're getting clarity and direction for all of that. So as we take all of this and go inside our heart of hearts, just closing our eyes for a moment to any distractions. Knowing that we showed up on this thing called life. And we allow ourselves to unfold in beautiful ways and to listen to that still small voice that says, go this way, do this. I want to express that. Whatever thing we may have pushed down. And no more backsliding. We're right here in this infinite intelligence being guided and directed, and we keep attention to our attention and our mind and what we're focusing on. As we get clear on it, and every morning waking up with a few moments of imagination and daydreaming on how we are unfolding the day. And then we step into gratitude knowing that wonderful things are unfolding, beautiful people that are loving, that are kind, in the flow with everything of life. That we just say yes, yes, yes to the goodness as we go to that gratitude space. I am so grateful for the goodness unfolding as I just release my word into the universal action of the law, knowing that my word is never returned void. And so it is. And so it is. So I really do want to put a charge out there as Ruth is coming to allow us to do our giving, knowing that as we give, we absolutely receive, that we take some time today to be like a kid. Remember daydreaming, imagining, laying on a playground or something and just thinking of all the great things. Take some time to imagine the life you absolutely love. And I know some of you are already living that. And if there's any little thing that says, I don't like that part, let's get rid of that. And then here's my best life ever. All right, thank you for your volunteering, Ruth. Let's do our giving affirmation. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper. All those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love. And so it is. And so it is. Knowing that the giving, I was listening to this little story, and this man and his son went to this monastery and wanted to go inside, and there was a little offering plate, so his dad put $50 in there, and then they went and sat through the service. And then afterwards, they came up and they said, whenever we have a visitor, we just give them whatever's in the offering basket, and here we have $50 here, so you get to have it. And the little boy said, Dad, if you'd have gave more, you would have got more. I'm like, I love the logic. All right, thank you so much. And if there's any questions or comments or prayer requests, Grant is wonderfully running around going to do that. Yes, Anne. Yeah. There she is.
Thank you so much for your wonderful talk, Reverend Valerie. I do have a prayer request, but first I wanted to share something that I think applies. This is such a wonderful experience that I just wanted to share it with you guys. One of our practitioners at Founders is her mom is with her mom and dad both, but her mom is in hospice at home now, and it's extremely difficult, and she has dementia, and she's unconscious a lot of the time. And my friend is a teacher. She teaches second grade, and so this one day there were extra things she had to do for her mom, and she had to be a little late to school, but she knew that her class was taken care of. And they know that her mom is going through this. And so when she got there, she apologized to the kids for being late, and they said, oh, was it for your mom? And she said, yeah, it was my mom. And so I said, well, we want to do something. And they're used to meditating. She meditates with her second grade class every day. And she said, we can't pray, but we do the energy thing. They rub their hands and feel the energy. And so they wanted to do the energy and direct it to her mother. And so they did that, and then one little girl said, I want to pray for your mother. And she said she got down on her knees and prayed for her mom. And it always brings tears to my eyes, but it was so touching. And she said when she got home that her mom hadn't been clear for a few days, but she was totally awake, she was totally clear. They visited, it was like a gift, not like, oh, she's healed, but like, oh, she came back, and we got to have this time, So I just thought, wow, the power of prayer, and also the training of our young they're so open to it, and what a powerful thing. So I just totally loved that.
Oh, I love that too.
Yeah,
Tingles,
exactly.
So, yeah.
And of course, I know that people did pray for Beverly in the Tuesday class yesterday. She's having her colonoscopy today. They moved the time up to 1:30 instead of 3:30. and I talked to her this morning, and of course, she has a great attitude. But I'm thinking, wow, they could actually heal this thing. They're thinking they're doing all of this so they can see just what's going on, but there's two surgeons there, one working on one thing and working on another thing, and they could heal the thing right now. So why not? Why not? So I would just love to have prayer for Beverly.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll send her a text message too. We text back and forth quite a bit. So great. All right, knowing that is already done and already healed, and we'll continue to hold her in mind, knowing that there's just a revealing of the wholeness that Beverly already is, that we're just so grateful for that, knowing that's well. Okay, great. Anyone else? I'm going to take just 2 minutes and just talk about the hypnosis certification class that I'm doing. And you don't have to want to have a certification, although you'll get one if you decide to come. It's one of my favorite things to teach and to talk about. I got certified in 1995 with hypnosis because we had a doctor that was a psychiatrist, and he was using hypnosis to help people that were drug addicts. And one of the nurses and I took the classes and had a lot of really great results, and really worked on it for self-esteem and for other things in people's lives, whatever was going on, and had so many great results. And it goes so well with Science of Mind. In fact, we had a copy. I took a picture of the outside, and I should have put it up here, but I wasn't thinking about that. 1979, there was a Science of Mind magazine that said hypnosis and science of mind, because it goes hand in hand. And Ernest Holmes used to say we're hypnotized to the ways of the world. And when we consciously get hypnotized for what we want, that's a good thing. When we're just hypnotized to the ways of the world, this is just how it is, then we've kind of become that ship that's just bouncing to and fro. So being able to be intentional and work with the subconscious mind is such a great thing. If you are a member of Redondo Beach Center for Spiritual Living, we are doing a $100 discount, so it's $299. Meals will be provided both days. It'll be great. And it's really learning more about the subconscious mind and what things I might be holding on to that I can continue to release. It's my favorite thing. So if anybody has any other questions about that, you can let me. Oh, you do have one. He's running.
Started going to the gym again recently, so this helps me get a little
Oh,
exercise.
good. That's great.
What time Friday does it start?
So we'll go 10 to 4 on both days.
10 in the
Yeah.
morning to 4.
Yeah,
Great.
and it's not, because we're going to be doing experientials to make sure everybody feels comfortable to be able to take people on a journey. And I always say all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. All I am is a tour guide. We're just taking you on the tour. You can get off the tour anytime you choose to, because it's really all about your own consciousness and your own mind, because you always hear everything. As long as you're breathing, you're always receiving. So we're always receiving something in our minds, consciously or subconsciously.
Great.
So we kind of break down the different, the subconscious mind versus the conscious mind and what parts it does for us. So it just takes science mind a little deeper and we get to experiment. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Anyone else? Any comments, questions, words of wisdom? Okay, well, let's take all of this. I'm going to close this in a treatment for all of us. We'll definitely make sure that Beverly's in there too, and all of our friends and loved ones as we go inside, knowing that there is one mind, one power, one infinite intelligence. It is that beautiful energy that flows in, as, and through each and every one of us, that we are connected in that goodness, that godness, that spirit, that energy. As I speak my word and claim for each and every person, that there is health, there is harmony, there is abundance, there is love, there is goodness. That as we just listen to that inner knower that just knows that it knows that it knows that it knows the right and perfect steps each and every day, each and every way, we just say yes, yes, yes to it. And we listen to it clearly, beautifully, brilliantly, creating the best life ever, a life we love, a life we're proud of. As we go to that space of gratitude, I am so grateful for this wonderful life, just as it is and just as it isn't, as I get clarity. And in that clarity, there is the revealing of the beauty, the brilliance that flows right here in gratitude. As I just release my word into the universal action of the law, knowing all is well. And so it is. All right, so get out there and imagine and have the best day ever. Yay. Yes.